Praise the Lord. How's everybody today? Hope you all are doing well. And I hope y'all can see me okay. I got this kind of rigged up here. Hey everybody, it's Sunday check-in. Come on and join me on the couch. Actually, I'm sitting on a bed, but join me on the couch. Come on, let's have this conversation tonight. This is a requested conversation. How's everybody doing? Mom, am I inside the group or am I on my page? Lord have mercy. Somebody tell me, am I inside the Candid couch or am I on my personal page? Mom, am I in the Candid couch? I was moving so quickly. Mom, let me know, am I inside the group or am I on my page? If so, I want to switch over. If not, rather. Are you there? Oh, good. Yes. So why don't y'all help me invite some friends in? Let's have this conversation tonight. This particular subject was requested. Someone inboxed me, and I'm going to keep the person's name private, but I will say it was a man. So you know it got to be something if a man wants to have this discussion. Not that us ladies, what we got to say ain't important, but it's another level when the men, when our men want to have certain conversations. And this particular brother inboxed me and he wanted me to cover this conversation. Hey, Sid. He wanted me to cover this conversation about media and marriage and how to balance, we've been hearing about this for quite some time. There's been little Facebook memes and things that have been made where you see, two people out to dinner and the couple may be on their cell phone the whole time, or, couples are at home and they're not talking to each other, but they're interacting on their smartphones on the internet, Facebooking or Instagram and all of that stuff. So he wanted me to cover balance. Now, this is a hot topic because it's something that me and my husband, we talk about this regularly. As you all know, and some of you that have been following the Candid Couch conversation for the past year, going on 2 years now, one of the things that you may have known is my husband is not really big on social media. He's never really been one to post all the time. He's not one that follows a lot of people and constantly engaging people. That's just not his speed. And so, but me on the other hand, I like to say that I influence a lot, maybe like not mainstream like some of these bigger people that I follow on YouTube, but I do influence on social media. There have been people that I have been able to connect with on social media that I didn't have a relationship in regular life. And so me kind of running the Candid Couch conversation page, being an administrator for my church page. I also have another group, the Wailing Wall. That particular Facebook group has been up and going for years. And, some of you may not know that, but it's a prayer wall where we used to do a whole lot years ago, but it has kind of slowed down. And then also with some of my sister in the Lord with her ministry, group. And so I've been a part of social media and kind of managing pages and different things for a while. And so sometimes it's hard or it's easy to balance, okay, I've spent enough time, managing or skimming through or making posts for this particular group. Or now I'm just scrolling and being nosy, seeing what other people got going on. So finding that balance with family, balance in your marriage, learning how to discipline yourself, because social media can be addicting. And so I have a couple of notes here of things that I just want to cover based off of my thoughts and my views and my opinions on social media. But before I go on, I want you to invite your friends. Let me actually be the first one to do so. I'm going to invite some more friends on because I need everybody's input. I need your input tonight. We got a brother that wanted to have this discussion. So I want you to help me to get the word out that we're having a conversation and it's an important one. So I'm inviting my friends and I want you to do the same, if you will. All right. Yes. This is a very needed conversation because the enemy is attacking marriages. And the reason why, and you've probably heard me say this a million times over, one of the reasons that the enemy attacks marriages so much is because he wants to destroy the family unit. So if he can get mommy and daddy, then he has good headway into touching the children. And so the enemy has a kingdom that he's trying to build. And so how does he get into building his kingdom? By recruiting. And so my husband's on, y'all. And so, yeah, I just want to talk about a couple of things real quick. So thank you so much for inviting your friends on. Let's go ahead and get this conversation started, y'all. And share the video. Share the video on your particular page so that we can get as many people involved in this conversation as possible. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about is information overload. Information overload. So, that's what the internet is all about. Information. Back in the day when some of y'all that's watching me were coming up, we didn't have the information that we have now at our fingertips. We used to have to go to the library. Some of us had encyclopedias in our house. And so we had to really dig for information. If you wanted to know something, you had to dig. For some of you ministers, and pastors and preachers that are watching today, when you were preparing your sermon, I remember back in the day having 3 and 4 different translation Bibles all laid out on my table, and I had my concordance, and I was digging, researching. But now all you got to do is get on your laptop and you can pull up all the information that you need. You have examples right at your fingertips. And so we are in that information age where it's easy to find out what you want to know. Yes, like my husband said, good information, bad information. You get lies on the internet. See, you can't believe everything that's on the internet, because just like me getting on this platform tonight, I could get on here and speak my mind and it may not necessarily be facts. A lot of times people want to put information out there as if it's a fact, but really all it is an opinion. And so we know that there's a difference between facts and opinions. Everybody got their opinion, and there's a lot of opinions that you may have that may change over the course of years because you grow, you obtain wisdom. Maybe you go to school, maybe you sit up underneath teaching, maybe you've studied on your own. But a lot of times our opinions change based on new information information that we learn or that we gather. There's some things that I used to believe in back in the day that I don't believe in right now in this space and time that I'm living in, because of information, because of learning, because of sitting under teaching, because of research, study, wisdom, the Holy Spirit. I was just talking to someone recently, and we were talking about, experience, how experience is a great teacher, but it's not the best teacher. The Holy Spirit is the best teacher. And so we're getting all this information on the internet, and sometimes we get addicted to it. That's my first point on tonight. Being addicted to social media, and not only being addicted to it, but being overloaded with information. And so sometimes we need to take a step back from all of the information. And sometimes you need to ponder and really see, we need to be free thinkers in this time that we're in. Sometimes because a person looks the part, sometimes because a person went to a certain school, or maybe a person is affiliated with a certain thing, you take their information as gold. But see, we have to take the time to even ask God, is this true? Is this something you want me studying? Is this something that I should be getting off into? So information overload. And we're talking about marriage and social media on tonight, y'all, for some of you that are just coming in. And so with that, there comes media abuse. Media abuse. And so you may be wondering, well, what is media abuse? Abusing social media. How can and see, I'm talking to me while I'm talking to y'all, because this is an area that I even struggle in, because, like I said before, I run more than one Facebook page. So a lot of time I'm on there for personal reasons, but other times I'm on there for ministry reasons. And sometimes the two can be confused, because a lot of the people on this platform are people that I also associate with on my personal platform. And so we just got to be careful that we're not abusing media. When we abuse social media, we're on there too much. We start to neglect our work. We start to neglect our spouses. We start to neglect our children. Sometimes we start to fall behind on our jobs, or we stop getting in the presence of the Lord like we need to, because we get too involved with social media. And not only with browsing what other people are doing, you begin to compare your life to the next person. See, we all got too much of an input on other people's lives, and we get way too involved. We get way too involved in what other people are doing and what other people are saying and what other people are building and different things like that. Sure, it's good to be involved and like what the next person is doing, but when you got to base your whole life off of your friends list, off of what somebody else said or what somebody else didn't say, and who liked your post and who didn't like it and who is beefing. See, it comes a place in time where you have to pull back and regain your focus. Remember, y'all, we're talking about marriage and media. Sometimes we can get off focus because we're too engulfed in what's going on the internet. And it's all about self-control. And see, the sad thing is, back in the day, people were divorcing a lot of times because of money. But now people are divorcing and having issues in their marriage because of social media, where social media becomes our God. We have to be careful when you're living your life for the camera. When you're living your life to impress people, when you're living your life to make yourself look bigger than what you are. Come on, somebody. We have to be careful and really focus ourselves. Am I too involved? Am I neglecting what really matters? Am I not spending time with my spouse? Come on, we're talking about media and marriage. Am I not spending time with my spouse? Because I'm too involved involved. And one of the things, y'all, because like I said, I'm not the greatest at this. I'm asking God to help me even with balancing, with the balancing act with all of this. But you have to make rules. See, the Bible tells us to govern ourselves. We have to possess our soul. And so when your soul, which is your mind and your will and your emotions, when your soul gets to doing what it wants to do, when we start wanting to please our flesh and please our emotions and please our feelings, we forget about other people. So maybe your spouse needs a little one-on-one time with you. Maybe your spouse just wants to talk to you, or maybe your spouse just wants to fellowship with you. My sister Brandy Nelson yesterday had an awesome live yesterday, and I posted it to the Facebook and to the Candid Couch wall. She was talking, her and her husband were on live talking about marriage, and they were talking intimacy. And see, sometimes we neglect being intimate with people that we love because we too worried about what Susie and John on Facebook and Instagram is doing. We're worrying about who having a cookout. We're worrying about who's turning up. We're worrying about who got money, or what her hair look like, or what church she go to, or what she making for dinner. And we forget about those that are within our own roof. It's almost like a fairy tale land. We worry about appearing a certain way, that we fail to care about how we appear to our loved ones. And I'm talking specifically about your spouse. What does your husband, what does your wife care about? Are you too busy trying to impress people that don't got a dime in on your bills, on your rent, and all that other stuff? Are you overly concerned about impressing the next girl or impressing the next guy that you fail to impress, the one that you made a vow to? Come on. Back to my notes, y'all. We have to take back control. We have to see, the Bible calls the enemy the prince of the air. Do you know that right now I am broadcasting this Facebook Live over the airways? And so a lot of times the airways are being governed or being, see, when you think of the spirit world, think of it as a community. Okay, the spirit world. And so the enemy, with him being the prince of the air, and even for him being able to navigate through the airways, that's why you see so much pornography and you see so much lies and slander going on the internet, because the enemy has free reign over the internet. And so we, having authority, are able to pick up our authority. But the only way you can pick up your authority is getting authority over yourself. You can't have authority over the airways. You can't have authority over what's going on Facebook. You can't have authority on what's going on Instagram until you get authority over yourself. By telling yourself, no, I've spent too much time browsing and scrolling and liking and commenting to where I need to put that stuff aside. And I need to invest more time into my marriage. One of the things, and I think I've said this before on live, one of the things that I like to do, that I try to practice, is when my husband is speaking to me, when we are having a conversation or a dialogue, I make it a point. Now, do I do this all the time? Am I perfect? Do I ever make a mistake? Yes, Dearis makes mistakes all the time. I don't got this thing down pat, y'all, but I'm trying. And so one of the things that I try to do is when he is speaking to me, I want to sit my phone down. I don't want to scroll and give him one of my ears and give the media my other one. Now, if any of y'all are like me, when I'm reading something, I tune out what's going on around me. because my focus is in what's on my screen. And so it's hard for me to devote attention to him and attention to my Facebook page at the same time. So what I'll do is I'll sit that phone down and I'll go ahead and engage in conversation. What does that look like? When you are engaging in conversation with someone, not only are you talking, but you're thinking about what's coming out of your mouth. Married couples, are you thinking about what you're saying? Or are you just rattling off stuff? Are you just speaking, just saying stuff just to let the person know, oh, I hear you, but I'm not really paying attention to you? See, that's a respect factor. We have to begin to respect and honor. See, social media is taking away the honor that we should have for one another. So a part of me honoring my spouse is letting him know you have my undivided attention. Whether you're talking about dinner, whether you're talking about something, in your health, or whether you're talking about the weather outside, you have my undivided attention in this moment. And so what am I going to do? I'm going to sit my phone down. A part of me sitting my phone down is letting him know I honor your words. Husbands and wives and girlfriends and boyfriends and fiancés, whoever is watching me today. When you sit your phone down, when someone is speaking to you, you're letting them know, I honor what's coming out of your mouth. I honor your thoughts. I honor what's going on in your heart. And so I want to give you my time, and not only my time, but my undivided attention. Are you giving your spouse, your boo, your honey, your babe, are you giving them your undivided attention? And see, let me go a little bit further with this. It's not just about conversation. One of the things that I tend to do, can I tell on myself tonight, y'all? Because see, one of the things what I do, I make it a point to show my own flaws. I have to let the people know that's following me. I have to let the people know that are listening and giving ear to me know that I am not perfect. I'm simply forgiven. I'm simply striving to get it right, just like you. So when you come to me for advice, or you come to me asking me my opinion on some things, I'm letting you know, hey bro, hey sis, whoever, I'm striving just like you. But let me speak to you based off of my experience. Let me speak to you based off of what God has told me. All right? I don't ever want nobody to think that I got it all together and that it's peaches and cream over here. No, absolutely not. Each and every day I'm fighting to be better. When we stop fighting, we're in trouble. When you stop trying to be better than you were yesterday, you're in trouble. When you get comfortable, I made a post earlier today. Go back and look at that flyer about the Candid Couch conversation. There was a quote that I made even on I believe it was last year. When you get comfortable in dysfunction, in cycles, that's a problem. When you get comfortable in drama, that's a problem. When you get comfortable in dysfunction, that's a problem. Never allow yourself to get comfortable in dysfunction. There has to be a better version of you laying dormant on the inside. There has to be a better wife. There has to be a better husband. You got to be a better human being. So never get comfortable just being okay with this is how I am. Absolutely not. We're to be progressing and growing and evolving on a regular basis. Anything that is not growing is dead. Did y'all hear me tonight? Anything that is not growing is dead. Dead things do not grow. Have you ever had a plant that you were trying to hold on to and you don't see no more new leaves coming on that plant? What do you have to do? You have to get rid of it. And sometimes you can salvage it if you begin to cut off everything on it that's dead. Let's begin to cut away dead things in our lives. Because see, when you have a beautiful plant and it once upon a time had beautiful green leaves all over it, but you're starting to notice that there's some brown spots. You start to notice that some of the leaves are beginning to wither. What do you need to do? You need to pluck away that which is dead because it's draining and sapping the energy and the nutrients from the parts that are trying to survive. Cut away. Get rid of anything that's keeping you from thriving. I'm talking about people that are in relationships, marriages on tonight. Anything that's stopping you from thriving, get rid of it. Get rid of it. Going back to my notes, y'all. Respecting boundaries. Respecting boundaries. As I mentioned before, you know, my husband don't really be on social media all like that. And so earlier on, he had made it clear to me that he didn't want to be on the video camera. He wasn't ready for that. And so instead of me trying to chase behind him with my camera and not respect the boundaries that he set for us in our marriage. Me, even though, just like today, y'all, just being a little more transparent, I started to do even this live in our bedroom. And I got, I got some new little decorations going on and this and that. But the Holy Spirit began to speak to me that this is sacred in here. You don't have a need to broadcast a sacred area. Now, it may be beautiful to you, but it is not for the world to see. So what I do, I get myself out of that room and I come into another room of my house. My husband even expressed to me earlier on that he didn't want me, because he knows that I have a social media platform and that I do recordings. He don't want me all over our house and in the front of our house video recording. That is respecting boundaries. Because see, when you are in a relationship, or when you are in a marriage, see, you don't belong to yourself anymore. Now, come on now. I need y'all to understand me. I'm talking to the married folk right now. If you are not married and you don't have a marriage license, you don't belong to a man or a woman. You only belong to God until that person signs a marriage license with you. But when you become someone's spouse, you are not your own. And so because I am not my own, even the house I live in is not my own. So I have to respect his feelings. I have to respect his views. And I have to make sure that I am not overstepping bounds. Does your spouse not want you to have the phone or social media on during dinner time? That's one thing that we work on when we're sitting down as a family. We don't have our cell phones out, not even our children. When we're eating dinner together, now's the time for us to break bread. A part of breaking bread is having conversation. The enemy is after the communication within marriages. Because see, if he can twist up the lines of communication and y'all are not rightly communicating with one another, that opens the door for confusion. And what happens when confusion comes in? Chaos. What happens when chaos comes in? Breakdown. The enemy wants to break down the marriage so he could break down the family. And see, some of y'all are wondering, what are you talking about? Are you talking about media, or are you talking about marriage and family? All of this goes together. We have to begin to put parameters around and protect. See, what God has put together, don't let nothing tear it apart. Not your Facebook page, not your Instagram page, not your YouTube channel, not Instagram, nothing. Don't let nothing get in between what God has brought together. Not people's opinions, not people's thoughts, Not you trying to keep up with the next married couple that you're secretly watching on Facebook or on Instagram. Not trying to be couples goals like somebody else. Because let me tell you something. Every single relationship has its flaws. Now, yes, I want to be an example. I have siblings, my younger sisters. I'm trying to be an example to them. But at the same time, I want to let them know that we are working towards something. Me and him, it's been blood, sweat, and tears getting to where we are right now. Do you see what I'm saying? We started, you know that song that they say, started from the bottom, now we here. Yes, we started from the very bottom. We didn't have nothing, y'all. To get, and I'm not just talking about material things. We've built our relationship from nothing. And so because we've built something, I want to protect my investment. I want to protect the tears. I want to protect all of that. The communication, the love. I want to protect that. Because see, some of these people on the other side of this camera, I know most of you that are watching me on today, you love us and we love you. But there are some people that are going to be viewing and watching this broadcast that they don't love me. They're looking for a way to tear down what I got and what I've established through God. See, because it's God that gives us the grace. It's God that gives us the wisdom. It's God that gives us the know-how to be able to build anything. And so I don't want to be foolish by opening up the door, the airways, opening up the window and allowing the enemy to come in and wreck what I've spent almost 2 decades. Do you hear what I'm saying? I've been with this man, and I love you too, babe. I've been with this man for going on 17 years. This July or August will be 17 years that I've been with him. And this June, we will be married 15 years. That did not come without bumping our heads. That didn't come without some bruises. That didn't come without some mistakes. So I'm going to protect that. I'm going to protect that. Going on to the next bullet mark here. Making time for who and what matters most. Who matter? Who matters? And see, sometimes, and let me tell you something. If you have an iPhone, there's a feature on your phone that tells you how much time that you've been online. Pay close attention to that. Now, am I saying that you got to be sharing it with your spouse all the time? Like, look, see, I only got 4 hours and 10 minutes and 2 seconds. No, I'm telling you for your own accountability. Use it and see how much time have I dedicated to Facebook. It'll tell you if you've been on there for 6 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours. Now, when you look at those figures, look at how much time have you actually spent with your husband or your wife. Many of us, because we got a lot of other things going on, we may get a 2-hour movie in on one given day. We may be able to sit down for dinner or go to bed at night. But has social media taken more rank and more authority than your spouse? Could you imagine how that would make them feel? That you dedicate and set aside more time for people that don't care nothing about you? That if you get sick today and die, all they would simply do is put RIP online for you? They wouldn't shed not one tear if you left this earth? Are you setting aside more time for them or for your spouse? We got to be honest with ourselves, y'all. And I know sometimes it could be embarrassing To think, because see, like I said, I know that I spend a lot of time on media. I do. I'll be the first one to say it. I do. I be laughing at some of y'all posts. I be looking at videos. I be sending my husband, texting him and inboxing him on Facebook stuff. I do. I spend time on there. Can I stand to carve back and pull back? Absolutely. Absolutely. So I want to challenge you on today. Can you pull back? Can you pull back? Because guess what? Let me tell y'all something. I've taken social media fast before. I think there was one time I took like 2 months. 2 months I totally disconnected from social media. And when I came back, guess what? Every single thing that I left was right there waiting for me. Nothing was different. All the same people was talking about the same things. Folks was still beefing. People was still arguing. People was still showing their plates and their dinners and their meals. People was still posting pictures of, of them in the bathroom with their butt up on the sink. People was still posting scriptures. People was still going live. People was still doing the same stuff. My point is, I didn't miss a thing. Nothing changed. But I guess the better question is, did I? Did I? That time away, what changed me? What was different about me? Come on, y'all. We got to be real and we got to be honest. First, with the man in the mirror. Because see, we could get on here all day and lie to one another. We could get on here and act like, oh, I do this, I do that, I don't do this, I don't do that. But at the end of the day, God knows. Now, am I saying that God is beating you down and punishing you because you spend too much time? No, but you're robbing yourself. I'm robbing me. We're robbing ourselves of time that we could be getting to know our children. We're robbing ourselves of time that we could be spending times with our spouse, nourishing and fortifying our relationship. Because see, in the day and time that we're in right now, we need to be fortifying our relationship. What does it mean to fortify? It means to build it up. It means to make it more solid. Because there are things that's coming against us in this world that's trying to take us out. One by one, marriage by marriage. But when you take time for those that you love, you fortify it. You build it up and make it a little bit more stronger. Another point that I wanted to make is discipline. Discipline. We have to get back to disciplining ourselves. Some of you that have been following me for years, one of the things that I always say is you have to learn to tell yourself no. If you can't tell yourself no, you definitely ain't listening when somebody else tell you no. We have to learn to tell ourselves no. No, you're not going to spend this time. No, you're not going to get on media. No, you're not going to lay on media. See, I'm guilty of this too, y'all. There are times that I get in the bed and I can't fall asleep right away. So I'll scroll until I fall asleep. Instead, I should be praying until I fall asleep. Or better yet, spending time with my husband. Can we be honest today? See, that's when we get set free and we get delivered, when we are honest. See, if you want to see some change, we got to be honest. Come on. Let's tell the truth and shame the devil. And while y'all watching me, share this video. Somebody needs to hear this. If you want to be free, you got to first be honest. You can't get freedom without honesty. See, lies make you stagnant. Lies make you comfortable right where you are. But if you want to go to another level in your marriage, in your business, in your ministry, within your family, within the community, if you want to go to any other level, you got to learn to be honest. First with yourself. Having hard conversations right between your ears. And then with the people around you. It all starts right here and right here. When we begin to be honest with ourselves and have those hard dialogues in our mind and be for real, I'm talking about for real, being brutally honest that we could do better and stop making excuses. My God, when we could stop making excuses for what we want to do. Because see, we can make an excuse at the drop of a hat. But when you flush your excuse down the toilet and say, no, this is what it is. This is the real. I can do better. I will do better. See, when we start declaring over ourselves, I can do better and I will do better. I'm not making an excuse. I'm not going to make one for you and I'm not going to make one for me. The same measure that I hold over you, I'm going to measure myself with it. I don't know if y'all hearing me tonight. Discipline. And then the next point I want to make is regularly visiting why. Why do you do what you do? Why? One of the things that I was looking at earlier today, I was, just looking at some Facebook posts or what have you. And it was some mess going on Facebook. And I was thinking to myself, if you could live with why you're doing what you're doing, keep doing it. But if you can honestly say within yourself, I shouldn't be doing this. I'm better than this. I could grow from this. I don't want to keep doing this. This is ignorant or whatever the case may be. Then you have to visit and you understand why I'm doing it is to please my flesh or to please somebody else or because whatever. Your why matters. Are you doing it to impress somebody? Are you doing it to be vindictive? Are you doing it to get back at somebody? Are you doing it because you're hiding? Why are you doing what you're doing? Even with pictures. If you got to post a picture every single day, why? Now, am I saying this wrong? No. Some people, that's just how you communicate. But why? Am I always arguing with people online? Why? Why am I doing that? Am I always flashing money or always having to show that something that I got new? Why? Why am I doing this? Am I brown nosing? Am I trying to get in with people? Why? We have to visit our why. And then things will begin to make more sense to us. And I believe a lot of times we know why, but we don't want to own up to it. Next point that I want to make is discussing our relationships online. That goes back to what I said earlier about when I was in my bedroom and I was getting ready I was setting up to go live and I was looking at how pretty my bed was looking like, oh, that would be a night. No, that's sacred. We don't have a need as a married couple. There is no need for you to discuss your finances, what your husband done bought you all the time, what you about to do with your man, if you mad at your man. There is absolutely no reason for you to discuss intimate details of your marriage online. That goes back to what I just said. Why are you doing it? There's no reason. And that's one thing I will say, and I don't know, is it because I'm older and, I've been at this for a while. I don't know. But I really have no interest in telling y'all when me and my husband done got into it. Because who gonna fix it? Is the internet gonna fix it, or is me and him gonna work this thing out? There is absolutely no reason for you to share on social media when you're beefing with your spouse. None. Privacy, mother, yes. be. The Bible talks about discretion in the book of Proverbs. Discretion. Do we still know how to be discreet? Do you got to share every single time your husband done bought you something? Do you got to share every single time that y'all go out to eat? Discretion. Discretion. Because let me tell you something. We're living in a time and an age where there are measures online that are monitoring our lives. Don't help them. With facial recognition and where you could say something at home and then you get on your social media and all of a sudden in your news feed, like for instance, the other day I was talking about candles, how I want to get more candles or I want to go to Marshall's or whatever. It was something. All of a sudden on Facebook, all I see is candles. See, the powers that be are already monitoring us. You don't got to help the powers that be by posting your every single move. You don't got to post that you on your way to the store. You don't got to post that you and your husband on your way to Applebee's. You don't got to post that you just went to this place or you on your way out of town here or you're going out to eat. You don't have to do that. Discretion. Discretion. I think y'all get the point on that. Let me read some of these comments and I'm going to go back to some of my other points. They be proving a point. You right, Nisha. That's all right, Evangelist. Proving a point. I am hearing and thankful to listening. I am not married and getting another outlook. Amen. Amen. Building memories. We got to do that, y'all. Keeping records on social media. They do. They do. Let me tell you something. If you ever were to get into some situation or get into a problem, do you know that the FBI and everybody else is going to go through your whole social media? They're going to track down everything that you've been Googling. They're going to track down, they're going to look on YouTube to see the videos that you've been watching. They're going to look at your emails. They're going to look at the things that you were shopping for on Amazon. They're going to track down your every move. And see, that's the reason why we have to use discretion. Use discretion. I'm not talking about for FBI purposes, but in the sense that you don't need everybody all up in your business. You don't need everybody keeping a record and keeping track of everything that you got going on in your personal life. Discretion. The next point that I want to make is, and I think I've already covered this, making uninterrupted communication and quality time a priority. We have to get back to doing that, y'all. And see, we're living in the age now where everybody want to take a snapshot of everything. You can't go to Walmart without taking a picture. You can't go pick up your prescription without taking a picture. Everybody want to document every single moment of their life. And see, that's the reason why there's a breakdown in intimacy between couples, is because we're trying to impress everybody else but our spouse. When was the last time you impressed your spouse with a meal? When was the last time you impressed them with a deep, heartfelt conversation about how much you love them? When was the last time that you took a ride where you weren't on on Facebook Live documenting the every move that you made? You see what I'm saying? But I think it's just the age that we're in that people, I think discretion has went out the window. But there are still a remnant of people that want to savor their privacy. I don't know about y'all, but I am a private person. I don't want the world in on every single conversation, every single hardship. I want to keep something for myself. Do you? All right. And I think I've already mentioned finding ways to eliminate distractions. If it's a distraction, If it's keeping you from being intimate, if it's keeping you from being spending quality time with your spouse, eliminate the distraction. One of the things, somebody was asking me, why don't I have an Instagram? I don't have an Instagram because let me tell you, Facebook keep me busy enough. It does. Facebook keeps me busy enough. I don't want to think about going to Instagram. Look, I spend too much time already on Facebook. Instagram, I would have to get a clone to do that. I can't do it. I don't got a Twitter. I don't have time. I don't got time, y'all, and I'm not going to make the time. See, I'm trying to make the time to do the things that's needful and necessary in my life. I want to be a better me. I want to be a better wife. I want to be a better mother. I want to be a better business partner. I want to be better. And I can't be tacking on all these extra things, adding on to my plate, stealing and robbing me of valuable time that I could be doing things that are meaningful. So eliminate the distractions. If you got to get rid of your Instagram, if you got to get up off of Twitter, do what's necessary and eliminate the distraction. And reclaim your time. That's the last point that I want to make. Reclaim your time. Reclaim it. If you notice that you be on the internet too much, look at that time spent and try to find something else to do with your time. If there's gardening that you want to do, if you want to lose some weight, going out walking. If you got some projects around your house that you need to focus on, doing that. Reclaim your time. Social media will rob you. It will rob you of your relationship if you allow it. It will rob you of your time that you could be doing things that are productive. Reclaim your time. Don't be a victim. Don't be a victim of social media, y'all. There are so many people. There are people that are committing suicide because of social media. Yeah. There are people that are so wrapped up in what's going on in somebody else's life and measuring their life and their relationship on somebody else that they are literally committing suicide. Tragic situations behind social media. Don't let that be spoken of you. Don't get wrapped up in the hype, y'all. Let's do better in the hour that we are in. Let's love hard on our spouses. Let's reclaim the time. Let's eliminate the distractions and let's be our better version of ourselves. Let's continue to be fortified. Let's protect our relationships. Let's regain our privacy. Let's keep our discretion. Let's not allow in the world into our marriages. Let's not do that. But let's continue to protect our investments. So I hope that this conversation was meaningful and helpful. And I hope that the person that inboxed me and asked me to have this conversation, I hope that it finds you. And I really do hope that you're able to take some of these points and some of these things that were said on tonight. And even all of you have had some great things to say today. Yes, people will use your stuff against you on social media. The devil will use. See, let me just make this last point. A lot of people use social media as a diary. People will put their innermost secret, delicate thoughts on media. What are you looking to gain out of putting that kind of stuff out into the atmosphere? Go get a counselor. Get yourself a notebook. Get a pastor, a prophet, a minister. Call somebody and confide into them. But media don't care nothing about you. If you haven't gained anything by what was said on tonight, know this. Media don't care nothing about you. Because people will move on and forget all about you if you were to drop off. They will. real. If you were to deactivate your page, people would think, where is such and such at? But 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years go by, they will forget all about you. That is the harsh reality. They will forget. So love on the people that's loving you and love everybody. But don't get so wrapped up in these people on social media because they will forget all about you. After they log off of their phone, they're not thinking about you. They're not thinking about your marriage. They're not thinking about what you did last week. They're not thinking about the money that you had laid out across your bed. They're not thinking about none of that. It don't mean nothing because a lot of times it's a fraud anyway. It's a fake. It's a mask. People use media to hide the hurt that's in their heart. See, that's why you can really only believe half of what you read anyway. Because people get on here and they put on all the fluff, they put all the frill, they put all the glitter on things. Don't get wrapped up in this social media hype. Reclaim your privacy. Use it for entertainment and get off. And spend time with your loved ones, y'all. So I'm signing out on that note, y'all. I love you so much. Please share this. Let somebody know what we're doing over on the Candid Couch Conversation. I hope that you were blessed by tonight's conversation. I want you to have a wonderful week. I want you to have a productive week. Remember to stay safe and stay blessed. I love you so much. Have a good night.